Welcome aboard, everybody. It is Thursday, almost the end of the week. Hang in there, guys. You're just about there. If our show had a poster, it'd be. You all right?
Yeah, just trying to move one of the lights.
Okay. Well, not like we had
a. It doesn't really work, but it was worth a shot.
Okay. Not like we had a half an hour to work on that before the show. Hey, it's good to be here, guys. It's just parlays and lighting with Chris King. I'm your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. Ninja, getting right to business, man. Padres run line. Oh, and good afternoon. Love it. Brian Gillihan, the Prince of Parlays, having another great day yesterday. Congratulations, Brian. Good day to you. Rye Cape, one more day till the NASCAR show, Rye. Getting psyched to talk about NASCAR on Friday afternoon, so make sure you check out that.
That's some good fake enthusiasm.
Right. Oh, dude, I have a blast doing the show. I'll be the first to admit we're not very good, but we have a lot of...
Well, we make up for it with enthusiasm.
What we lack in skill, we make up for in enthusiasm. Exactly correct. So it is good to be here on the show. Of course, we do this every day at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Chris and I get together, shoot the shit about the world of sports, but eventually we narrow it down and we get to the topic at hand of just parlays. And Chris, you were kind of handed a flaming bag of dog shit today with the schedule because about half the games, there weren't very many games. About half of them, or better than half of them, have already started, or as they say in Missouri, fitting to get started. So
the sixth one of the 10 starts in about 5 minutes.
There you go. So
with Art Vandelay going for the Milwaukee Brewers.
So yeah, we got no hockey, we got no basketball, we got 4 baseball games. So congratulations, you get to find the 18 plays. 18 plays out of those 4 games. So you guys enjoy.
I should have thrown in the CFL game, and then at least people would be like, what the hell are you talking about? The Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Absolutely. Jeffrey Judge has come back Wednesday, paid off. Excellent. It's a get over the hump day. Nicely done, Double J. Brian,
what pissed me off? I had Judge the other day, remember, on the total bases prop, and then he got one at bat.
Yeah.
So he plays yesterday at homers twice.
There you go. It's the day after theory. It started with Reichel. It carries over. It's always been the way with me. Reichel just happened to notice it, and now I see you're being infected as well by the day.
I still don't understand. And the other thing, I don't understand why Trout didn't play yesterday. He kills left-handed pitching. Oh, well, let's leave him on the bench.
They didn't need him.
Well, they didn't need him, but I mean, it could have made a 5-0 game, 12-0.
Yeah, well, who needs that? I had the under in that game as my favorite play on Total Chaos, so nobody needed the over to hit there. Brian says he's headed back for a few days with some great Wi-Fi before he heads back offshore for a month. Love all the vids. Thanks, Brian. I assume oil rig, Chris? That'd
be my guess. Yeah. Better, he's independently wealthy and owns an island.
Maybe he's like a cruise ship captain and he living that life below deck. You ever watch that show?
My wife watches it.
I'll tell you what, I'd never take another cruise after watching that.
It's bad enough when you see Roy Orbison Jr. look like a complete jackass repeatedly on that show.
I got choppered off of a cruise ship one time for dropping an F-bomb during a show, Chris.
Really?
It's a great gig. You get like $1,500 a week. You do 2 shows, and the only rule is it has to be family friendly, and you can't drop an F-bomb. And son of a bitch, I sure did. And they don't.
Cruise line was that? I'm guessing it wasn't Carnival.
No, it was Norwegian, but they don't wait for you to get to port.
They just get rid of you. Huh?
They send a chopper.
So at least you got a free chopper ride. You can say you had one of those.
Jeffrey says Trout was out fishing. Very good. Rye Cape's going to be in Total Chaos tonight. There's a plug. Don't forget to check out Total Chaos. Don't forget to check out all the great offerings at the Max Wagers Network. Of course, we always ask you guys up top if you would be so kind to take a minute and smash the like button. It really does make a difference in our day-to-day operations. Lets everybody know how we're doing. Get subscribed to those channels, the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel, great place for all your great daily content, daily videos from me and from Scott. Chris, we don't have you making a daily video yet. What's up with that?
According to, the powers that be, considering that all my picks end up in this show anyway, it would be kind of dumb to do another video about something I already did.
Fair enough. You don't want to make 19 plays a day?
No, it's hard enough doing 18 sometimes like today.
It is. It is. Babe Ruth,
We could
seven.
talk about the WNBA if we didn't want to talk about the CFL, but
Right, right. A Ninja, I said Babe Ruth had 7 RBIs. Ohtani had 8 RBIs against the Royals the other night, break the record. I have a fun fact for you. It's only the 5th time in Major League history that a player has recorded 8 RBIs and their team has lost the game. Congratulations to the Angels. It's the 2nd time the Angels have done it. They did in 1961 as well. Brian says he's the captain of an offshore supply boat. Horrible Wi-Fi. Takes about an hour to watch a 3 to 4 minute video. That's a guy that has to be really pissed when I start rambling in my videos then and just talking about fucking nonsense. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up, fat boy. Just fucking move it along.
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, that's cool. I will refer to him as Captain Gillihan from now on.
As long as you don't call him Captain Gilligan.
No, absolutely not. So it's great to be here. Like I said, check out all the great Max Wagers Network not just Total Chaos. I think Allie does that show 3-4 times a week, does Total Chaos with different sports, different guys. Check out Rye there tonight. And, of course, check out all the great Max Wagers lineup Monday through Friday, 12 p.m., Midday Money with Sean Higgs. 1 o'clock is the aforementioned Allie Burns, your plus money honey, giving everybody morning wood. Me and you right here at Chris, right here at 2 o'clock, Chris, just talking about parlays. I'll slide over to Studio B at 3 p.m. with my pal Scott Reichel to do Back to the Window. 4 o'clock.
Right after his nap, which ends at 2:59.
Sometimes I think that's about right. Sean Miller, 4 o'clock, doing soccer from around the world. And, of course, wrapping up the day's schedule is Detroit Lenny and Nick and Tim Earl giving you your game time decision.
Look at that. Brian's lying to you. He's trying to make you feel good about yourself by saying he loves your videos.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. He's used to being the captain of the boat where he's got to keep everybody happy and, you're doing a bang-up job.
But I bet you a nickel he still hasn't subscribed to your OnlyFans.
I'm running a little light there, buddy. I'm not going to lie.
Are you still at 1?
Yeah, God bless my wife.
I thought Rachel was going to sign up.
My wife's going to be on me and Rachel's show next Tuesday. Talking.
Yeah, you said you're talking about Tour de France.
Tour de France, man. She is a Tour de France savant. So, and she's taking it really seriously. She's doing a shit ton of research. I had to like give her the questions in advance and what the topics we were going to cover and shit. So, she's all in. She's ready to rock and roll. So,
well, in the interest of full disclosure, I'm not doing a parlay about the Tour de France.
You're not doing it.
I don't know jack about cycle racing since what was the name? Indurain stopped racing.
Oh, that's a weird one to pull. I thought you were going to pull, Lance Armstrong or.
Oh, no, everybody knows who he is.
Or who was the dude before Lance Armstrong from America?
What was the name?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Greg somebody?
I want to say that's right. That's exactly the name that was in my head, but I'm not sure we're not thinking the wrong thing.
It wasn't Greg LeMond.
Yes, it was Greg LeMond. Yes, Greg LeMond. Very good, buddy. Nicely.
I had to think about it for a minute. It's just,
Nicely done.
There's so many weird, because, then you had Greg Louganis, the diver and everything. So I had to try to figure out which one it was.
I can still feel that on the back of my head. Clipping that platform on the way down, man. Brutal.
Well, I mean, they always say, the way down, it's a painful ride.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Hey, Chris, we're still doing our great deal with the folks over there at Caesars. Make sure you stop by and check that out. $1,500. Pretty much a risk-free bet on your first opportunity there at the Caesars Sportsbook app. If you win your bet. Congratulations. If you lose, Caesars will make it good for any amount that you bet up to and including $1,500. Got to use the code VideoWinners15. Video Winners. Well, I was going to spell it out. I'm not going to do that. Video Winners 15. Then you have to click on the link for your particular state. Of course, we have all that information in the show description for today. Chris, I had another good day yesterday on the premium side. I know we've got my premium plays available in the show description as well as your premiums. You had a great day as well. So make sure you stop by and check out our premium plays if you're looking for a little extra action. Of course, with the Caesars gig, you got to be 21 to play. Caesars has to be in the state where you reside. Actually, I don't know that that's accurate. I think it has to just be in the state where you are at the time. Like if Caesars comes to Kansas, I could go to Kansas and sign up, even though I don't live in Kansas. They don't give a shit where you live. It's like Vegas.
So as long as you're close enough to get there.
And, well, yeah, as long as you're not afraid of making a day trip, depending on how long that day trip is. For me, it's 20 minutes. It could be a couple, 3 hours for some of you. But, make a day of it. Have some fun. Go make some bets and have a snack. Have whatever that city's famous for. Where do you live now, Chris? You're in South Carolina. What's your town famous for?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Okay, good chat.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, they seem to have so many different things that it's hard to keep track. So.
Yep. Jeff checking in with Greg Lamont. Yep. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. Brandon Kubas hit a 4-teamer yesterday. Red Sox, Dodgers, Padres, and the Areolas. Congratulations.
Art Areola.
And, of course, Chris, every time it happens, we have to talk about it. The people that kind of fucking took it in the backside on that Orioles game, as the Orioles had it well in hand, 7-0 lead. They tried to wait out the rain, but I checked the weather, and I said, yeah, that ain't going to – there's no way they're getting the end of that game in. And they did not. It was called after 6.5, I think. And called in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
And of course, if you had an Orioles money line ticket, if you had the Orioles in a money line and a parlay, those were all good. But if you had a total, including the ultimate FU, which is the team total over, no bet. No bet. I had a guy in my comment section that had the Orioles. He went 4-0, and he had the Orioles team total over 4.5. I'm like, man, that is catching it right in the backside right there. So it never.
Yeah, on the plus side, Austin Hayes hit for the cycle, which is pretty impressive since they only batted 6 times.
Yeah, nicely done. And I would be remiss if we didn't talk about a couple of things here before we get rolling. First of all, kind of a sad day. Well, yesterday was the really sad day there in Baltimore Ravens Nation, as one of my favorite human beings that I don't know. I mean, he seems like a great guy when you see him. Tony Saragusa passed away in his sleep. And they also lost outside linebacker Jalen Ferguson at age 26. That appears to be of natural causes as well. So, we all have rivalries. We all, say we hate this team or that team. But at the end of the day, we're all big one NFL family. So from this Kansas City Chiefs fans, I give you my thoughts and prayers for all you Ravens fans and, of course, the family members of those two guys.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, the Bills Mafia will reach out as well. I mean, Siragusa, he spent first part of his career with the Colts, so, Jim Kelly and company were very familiar with him before, he went on to go to Baltimore and take part in that 2000 Super Bowl team with the Ravens.
Yep.
But, yeah, definitely a sad day yesterday. On the flip side, Arch Manning has ended the intrigue about where he's going to go play college football. Now he's decided he's going to play at the University of Texas.
Ole Miss, Tennessee, where's he going?
Texas.
So he's sort of, I was going to say he's not staying in the SEC, but he kind of is. Because he'll play one season.
The question is, don't they have Quinn Ewers there too?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, who's going to post the odds on the first guy to transfer out of those two?
Yeah, agreed. Supersizes Saragusa's sleep apnea. Saragusa was 55. The other cat was 26. But
right.
Anytime you look at a guy in their 50s and they're heavy, you immediately think of sleep apnea. So. Yeah, it is no question. I stopped being a back sleeper a long time ago, just a side sleeper.
I mean, you'd think Siragusa would have had one of those CPAP machines.
Yep, you would think. I got to be honest. Half the time I'm working in my office, I got a chair in there. It's 3:00 in the morning. I just crash out, especially since my wife has started working and getting up early. And the last thing I want to do is come crawling in, and the dog always wakes up and barks at me whenever I walk into the bedroom. It's quite funny. So anyway. So it'll be fun to see Manning play. Since he's gonna spend 1 year in the Big 12, I'm gonna have to probably go see him this year. I don't know if Texas comes to K-State. I hope Texas comes to K-State. We went there last year, so I'm almost certain that there'll be a home game this year. So I will have to go see that.
Well, I mean, the schedule should be out, right? Because I mean, you would think that it would be.
Do they have individual dates? I know they have like who they're playing. I don't know.
I'll take a look here real quick and see.
All right. So what'd you do on the premium side yesterday while you're looking, buddy?
Well, we had a 4-teamer hit. Paid, I think, somewhere around 19-1, something like that.
Did you get the run line home on the 4-team or just the money line?
Yeah, I got the run line home on it because we had the Astros and who else was in there? The Cubs were in there.
Right.
That game was weird.
Yeah, it was.
And then we had a 2-teamer with I think it was Boston and the Dodgers. Texas, they play at home, or they play in Manhattan November 5th.
Okay. All right. That should be reasonable weather. That'll be cool.
Right after Oklahoma State and right before going to Waco to face Baylor.
Okay. All right. Very good. Rice says Bruton Smith passed the. He was the guy with the Speedway Motorsports in Indianapolis. Yeah. So.
I didn't know. Hadn't heard about that.
I hadn't either.
Of course, at least and I mean, you don't want to make light of it, but at least he was 95.
Yeah. That's there's a lot of difference between 55 and 95. Thanks. That's
95 and 26.
That's my hot take for the day. A lot of difference.
It's called math, people. It's called math.
It's the math, as the kids say. It's the maths. It's the maths, Chris. All right.
There you go.
Well, we have very little to talk about. And actually, I was thinking about that because I told you we were talking about it last night. I go, well, it's going to be a quick show. And then I got to thinking about it. It's the same number of picks. It's just you just had a narrower funnel to pour everything into.
A much narrower funnel.
And we'll give you a couple of updates here. Rockies Marlins tied bottom 6. Braves up 7-4 in the Giants. Also, that's in the top of the 6. Pirates fucking break up the Pirates, Chris. They're up 4-2 on the Cubbies after 5. Dodgers doing Dodger things, beating the shit out of the Reds 6-1 top 6. And the Guardians and the Twins involved in just the kind of game you would expect out of them. 1-0 bottom 4. Cards up on the Brewers early. 2-0 in the game that just got going. And, of course, we've got the Mariners and the Athletics ready to go here in a little while. All the other ones will be at night. So, there you go.
Yeah, Justin Steele, disappointing, giving up 2 homers in the first 3 innings of that game against Pittsburgh. He's been pitching well, but, I don't know if the wind was blowing out at PNC Park or what. Because, but I mean, there's still time for things to change. And look at that. In the top of the first, St. Louis has already scored 2 on Art Vandelay.
Yep.
So
Jason Alexander had been pretty good. And they've still got 2 guys on, just 1 out there in that one. James S. Yo, James. What's up, bud?
Yeah, Goldschmidt doubled home a run and then doubled and then scored on a throwing error by Art Vandelay that allowed both guys to score. So it was basically the Little League inside the park homer.
I would like to apologize to all Detroit Tigers fans. Detroit Lenny, of course, first and foremost on that list, for completely destroying Tyreek Skubal by pointing out that he was having a great season, and I've been on him for 3 years, and it looks like he'd finally arrived. He has done nothing but suck a gigantic bag of dicks since I mentioned that. So I'm sorry to all you Detroit Tigers fans. I'm sorry to the entire Skubal family.
Well, I mean, to be fair, at least 2 of his last 3 starts, he faced quality competition. He faced the Blue Jays and the Red Sox.
Right.
The loss to the Rangers was a bit of an aberration, but like we've said before, Detroit doesn't score any runs, and that makes it difficult for him. You look at his last 10 starts; they scored 6 and 5 in his first 2 starts in that stretch. Then it's 1, 4, 5, 5, and then the last 3 is 3, 0, 0, and 2.
Well, and, it doesn't really make a difference if you're pitching terribly. However, I would posit this, Chris, and that is the fact that when your team isn't scoring a lot of runs, you tend to press a little bit more. You turn low leverage or average leverage situations into high leverage situations. So I think it takes its toll. I think it.
Oh yeah, because when your team's only scoring 2 runs a game, every pitch is life and death.
Exactly. Every pitch has to be perfect. As opposed to the guys that go out for the Yankees, where you're going to put some runs on the boards. Dodgers pitchers the same way. Give them something to hit, have them hit it at somebody, and let's record it out and go on. So,
right.
If you're a Detroit fan, no need to apologize. They know what they're getting, and they know what they're getting themselves into. Okay, very good. What's the worst city to be a fan in right now, Chris? Is it Detroit? What?
Well, I mean, the Pistons just traded Jeremy Grant, one of their best players, for a
Right.
first-round draft pick 3 years from now.
And they haven't made the playoffs. How long? It's been a minute.
It's been. I mean, they were in it a few years ago, and then they probably got dusted by Milwaukee in 4 games.
So you've got the Pistons, you've got the Lions,
you got the Red Wings,
you've got the Tigers and the Red Wings. That's
pretty bad.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
I mean, at least in Seattle, you can only say you've got the Mariners and the Kraken, and that's it.
Well, the Mariners.
Well, I mean, you got the Seahawks, but
Mariners are competitive. Seahawks are competitive. I mean, that's not. You're not talking about bottom feeders like you are in Detroit. I mean that, and you know what? Those guys are passionate up there about all their Detroit sports. God bless them. I don't know. I'd probably find new hobbies at that point.
They probably wish that the Michigan Panthers of the USFL in the '80s were still around.
Because the Michigan team this year's terrible.
Yeah,
they're awful. So, and then you've got Michigan State. You got Michigan. Okay.
Got Eastern Michigan.
You got Eastern Michigan. Well, yeah. Then you got all the directionals, the Central, Western, and Eastern, of course. And yeah. Anyway, hey, buddy, let's talk about some sports.
I'd rather take Lake Superior State over any of those, but
it's a hockey school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll start with the game that, like we said, is going to start in about an hour. It's the Mariners and the A's. In case you haven't tuned in the last 2 days, the A's have scored a total of 2 runs, while getting outscored by the narrow margin of 17-2.
Not good. I had the under in that game yesterday. That was so fucking frustrating. A's did nothing, and I think, well, at least Paul Blackburn's on the mound. He'll limit the damage. Nope. Mariners went over by themselves. Thank you very much. Thanks for nothing.
Hold my beer.
Thanks for nothing, you worthless fucking A's.
But yeah, Rob, I read a stat today. I think Hoops Peterson put it up. Among guys with at least 30 at bats for the A's, their top hitting guy is batting .241.
Outstanding.
So I mean, you're basically got a collection of guys that can't hit to save their lives.
Can anybody here play this game? So we got my pal Robbie Ray, and if you guys watch my video today, you know that I have this pick as well. I swear to God, Chris just goes through and watches my videos because every time.
Yeah, like I have time to watch your videos.
Every time the first pick, my pick. So that's a.
How do I know you're not just coming or jumping in and copying all my stuff?
Yes, that's because you haven't posted these anywhere.
Considering I sent out my picks to you last night at midnight.
Not these.
Not the screens, but the Mariners were one of the top picks in the screen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, that's what.
So who put their picks out first? Yeah, that's right.
Still me.
Was it you?
Mariners can't score. You know what? A's can't score even more.
Yeah, they're dead last in runs per game at home.
Yep.
And Robbie Ray is, he seems to have found himself the last couple starts. He's allowed just 1 run on 6 hits over 14 innings.
It's been outstanding.
Last 2 outings.
Been outstanding, and most importantly for Robbie Ray, he ain't walking anybody, and he ain't giving up any home runs. If Robbie Ray keeps it in the park and keeps away from giving free passes, he's as good as anybody in the league. But they are this Oakland team, as far as scoring on the road, it is just hideous. They are 0.8 runs behind the next closest team.
Yeah, they make the Tigers look good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is substantial. So you talk about a pitcher that gets no support, and it's Montas.
I saw that the A's have scored 1 run or less in half of his 14 starts.
Yeah, 2.4 runs per game is what they average, and that's with an 11 and an 8 thrown in there, I believe. And they've scored 2 or less in 8 of this last 11 game stretch that he's been on since he won a couple to start the season. His last 11 have really been a problem, both with his pitching being less than stellar and with the A's not scoring any runs. I'm a fan of this. I think we're getting a bargain at $1.25. I got it at 128 was what I capped it at, but 125, that's a fine number for this game.
I mean, do you think Montas is foaming at the mouth, hoping that he'll get traded before the deadline? Some team that might actually, have a guy that could bat.
Has to be. Hell, send him across the bridge. Send him to San Francisco. He can keep the same house, sleep in the same bed. Doesn't have to uproot the kids out of school. Yes, there are a lot of teams that would like to have Frankie Montas right now.
Yeah, because you look, even though he's 3-7, his ERA is 3.5. He's got a 4-1, K to walk ratio.
Yeah,
striking out better than a guy in inning.
Yeah, I mean this is an A's team. They don't win. They don't win at home. 6-23 in the last 29 as a home underdog. Jesus, they don't hit left-handers. Mariners. They own this team in Oakland. They are,
which is scary because the Mariners don't normally own anybody.
They're 10-1 last 11 in Oakland. I heartily endorse this play. What else you got, buddy?
Real quick, Bronco, that guy Max Wagers, he went into witness protection. You might know him as Max Headroom.
What was the question?
He said he keeps waiting to see that guy Max Wagers. Where is he?
I think it would be funny if we had like the Max Wagers. It's Max Wager. Welcome to it.
No, I'm telling you, he changed his name. He's Max Headroom now.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Padres over the Phillies.
Okay.
Rye mentioned it earlier. He saw a Philadelphia fade coming. Well, I mean, we took the Phillies yesterday, and what did they do? They sucked.
Watch out for the day after.
Yeah, but the day after is kind of muted by the fact that they're facing Musgrove.
Yep. It's hard to fade Musgrove right now, buddy. It really is. He's been really, really good. 12 for 12 in quality starts.
Yep. 159 ERA. He's another guy averaging better than a strikeout an inning.
Mm-hmm.
Suarez, he's been up and down. It's tough to get a read on what you're going to get from him. Like you've talked about before with the box of chocolates theory that basically Suarez is a starter.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish, they had left him in the bullpen because at least then, he was decent.
Is this the same guy that was like Eugenio Suarez?
Eugenio Suarez?
Yeah.
No, he plays for the Mariners.
Okay. All right.
This is the guy who last year pitched in 39 games, started 12, went 8-5 with 4 saves and a 136 earned run average.
Oh, okay.
Then they decide, hey, you know what? We should make this guy a starter.
Well, you should, but it's a work in progress. Let's just say.
Yeah, I mean, he's only going 5 innings to start. I mean, if you look at his numbers last year out of the bullpen, let's see what he was. I mean, he's good in short bursts. He's kind of like what we talked about with Jordan Hicks before. Mm-hmm. And then, they said, we'll make him a reliever.
It is hard for some pitchers to make that transition because you're used to pitching at max effort for a short period of time. And now you have to temper that and pitch at about 85 to 90% every pitch and still be effective. And it's a skill, and it takes a little time, generally speaking, for it to be developed. So both of these teams can score, Chris. Phillies are 6th, Padres are 9th.
The weird part is the Padres don't score a ton at home. I guess that's just because of the dimensions of Petco Park.
Yeah, it's the and it's
and that marine layer and all that.
It's night in California on the marine layer too. So Philly's not playing particularly good as an underdog. 3-9 last 12, 2-6 last 8 as a road underdog. And Padres, they do all right there at no longer Jack Murphy Stadium. They're 7-2 in their last 9 as a home favorite. So what else you see on here that you want to alert everybody to? This is mainly from me, Chris. I like this game. It's all about Joe Musgrove. It's all about the pitching matchup.
Yeah.
I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched when it comes to offense. Is Machado back?
I'm gonna have to check and see if he's going to be in the lineup or not.
I'll take a look. Tell me what else you like about this.
I mean, no. If you look, Musgrove has had a lot of success against some of these guys in the Philadelphia lineup. They're also strikeout prone. I think Schwarber has fanned 8 times and 13 at bats against him. Hoskins, I think, is something like 0 for 6. Castellanos has struggled against him. And it's just going to be a challenge for the Phillies because the Phillies, instead of being a 3-outcome team at the plate, they're more of a 2-outcome team. They either strike out or they hit a long ball. And,
yep.
That doesn't necessarily work here because, like we said, in Petco, you're not playing in Citizens Bank Park or like the other day when they played at Globe Life Field. You're not working with the same kind of healthier climates for hitters.
Right. Rye being a NASCAR and a Phillies fan can certainly appreciate the checker or wrecker mentality that the Phillies bring to the park.
Yeah, I mean it's whiff or go home.
Yeah, it is. It is. By the way, Machado did not play yesterday. He's day to day. It looks like, reading the tea leaves, he's probably going to be out another day. He's not going to the 10 days, so it's not that bad. but he's probably going to be out another day. You're prone to spraining ankles? You ever sprain an ankle?
Say that again?
Are you prone to sprained ankles? Do you ever sprain an ankle?
No, my wife did it like 4 times in like 6 years. It was always the same ankle.
Sucks. I used to I changed shoes. I got better support, but I used to do it about once a year. Just be walking somewhere, like hit where the sidewalk meets the grass or something, just something stupid. Your foot getting just fucking, oh god damn it, that hurts. And you know it's gonna come. You know nothing you can do about it. You know, put the ice on it or whatever, and you just suck it up for a week or so while you fucking limp around looking like an idiot. That is not to be confused with, I think I've told this story before, but it's not to be confused with the time I was extremely inebriated with some buddies of mine playing air guitar, jumped off the couch, sprained both ankles. Landed on one, hopped over to the other one, landed on that one, sprained them both same time. Thank you. Good night. I'll be here all week.
But what song were you playing air guitar to? That's probably the bigger question.
Don't remember. We had been.
So it was probably Loverboy.
No, it was not Loverboy. We'd been at the dam at Lake of the Ozarks all day for the boat races, for the hydroplane races, and we were just ripped and burnt and sunburnt and it was just miserable. So anyway.
So well thought out strategy there.
Oh yeah, well thought out strategy. Indeed. So take the Padres behind Joe Musgrove. I don't love the price. The Phillies aren't exactly horse shit, but you've got Joe Musgrove on the mound. You got to do it. You're getting
they're 11-1 in Musgrove starts.
Yep.
And they've won at least 9 of them by at least 2 runs.
Correct. And if I am not mistaken, the one game he lost was 2-1. I could be wrong, but I know I was doing his stats yesterday for this play. And I believe
there was one game where he gave up 3 unearned runs, but that was.
I don't think that's the one he lost. I could.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick look here since I've got Baseball Reference still up.
There you go.
Let's see. He lost. He lost the game. They lost was 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
Yeah, that was he threw 6 innings, gave 1 run. That's when the Padres scored. Or not the Padres, the Pirates scored 3 in the 9th.
Ugh.
Against Taylor Rogers to get the win. Cabrian Hayes hit a 3-run homer in the top of the inning.
My kingdom for a closer. All right, buddy. Padres.
Yeah, because he's clearly not it.
So we're fading a bad team in the A's. We're backing a great pitcher in Musgrove.
Yeah.
Very good.
And Bronco wants to know if you were playing a Les Paul or a Gibson when you were air guitaring.
Playing a Stratocaster. Always. I'm a Fender guy.
Are you sure it wasn't Might As Well Go for a Soda by Kim Mitchell that you were air guitaring to?
No, not a lot of great guitar parts in that. It was probably, I don't know, it was probably like Iron Maiden or something, some Rush song, something like that. Knowing me and when I was probably 20 when it happened. So
he was actually what he's trying to cover up. It was actually Night Shift by the Commodores.
Mm-hmm. Jackie, hey, what you doing?
Or maybe it was Celebration by Kool and the Gang.
It was been probably before that came out.
Oh, well, what about Play That Funky Music, White Boy by Wild Cherry?
Did I ever tell you that was my first brush with greatness? I opened at this like fucking tiny bar in Florida where I went on the road. One of my first paid gigs on the road was opening for the guy that played guitar on that song. So
really?
His entire claim to fame was that was it. That was his fucking riff, man. And so yeah, that's the kind of high quality celebrities that I fucking worked with, buddy.
That Don McLean and
Don McLean, yeah, another the G-list celebrities, yeah. And the only reason,
I mean, you did work with Larry Miller. I mean, come on, that's some top-notch stuff.
No, I've worked with comics. I've worked with fucking everybody. But as far as bands go, I've worked with like Fabulous Thunderbirds and the Kentucky Headhunters, shit like that. That kind of level. So whatever you consider those guys at, yeah, it was fun. You know what? The great thing about that is they're not all full of themselves. They're cool. They can hang with you. You can hang because they get a lot better shit in their green room than you get in yours. So you're over there with the fucking in the fruit plates, and they got all the shit going on. I've got like a stale tuna fish sandwich from 7-Eleven that somebody tossed in there before I went on stage. So those guys were always very cool about inviting me to be part of the fucking gang and and go and hang with them in their their dressing room and stuff. So
now you said you didn't work with everybody. You work with Dennis Leary.
I've met Dennis Leary. I've not worked with him. I did a show where he was in the club at Nick's in Boston, but I did not. I'm not.
What about Bill Burr?
A little bit before my time. I was kind of
that's true.
Kind of transitioned out.
I wasn't sure when he started exactly. So
Burr probably started a little bit after. I would guess Burr mid '90s. Okay. Probably early to mid '90s, and of course, then by the time he was headlining, it was probably late '90s, early aughts. So yeah, I would have been pretty well retired.
What about Gallagher?
Open for Gallagher and his brother, Gallagher too.
Did you end up with watermelon on you?
Fuck no, of course not, dude. I'm backstage. What do you think? I go sit out in the front row when those guys go on? No, fuck that. I'll tell you one thing about Gallagher. He found his shtick, and it was cool, but he's damn funny. He is a smart motherfucker, and he is a really, really, really good writer. He writes some funny shit that you would never see him do, but every once in a while in his act, you'd get a little glimpse of it. You'd go, this dude is actually funny, and yeah, he is. He is actually funny.
Gallagher and his brother Gallagher too, also known as David Crosby.
Very funny. All right, buddy. Enough about my storied career, my Hall of Fame, my cat. I am not. I did not win an EGOT, Chris. Funny
thing about that, because you know who coined that phrase, right?
I just heard this. Like 2 weeks ago. Who was it? It's gonna piss me off.
It was Ricardo Tubbs from Miami Vice.
No, that's not what I heard.
Yes.
That's not
That's
what I heard.
who it was. He coined EGOT, and he claimed at the time his claim to fame was he thought he was going to win it in 5 years. He won none of them.
Okay. Well, I'd have a lot better case for arguing with you if I could remember who they said did it. So I'll give you an incomplete and I'll give you a bye on that one. I'll give you a walkover. Hey, let's hit some two-teamers.
All right.
Dude, how many birds do you have that live, I guess, in your room? Do they actually just fucking live in
there? I have the window open, so there's a tree out probably about
you have the
15 feet out front.
The window open? How hot is it there?
Oh, I don't have it open super wide. I just have it open a little bit.
I didn't leave the oven door open all the way. I just cracked it about 6 inches.
Sometimes it's cooler outside than it is inside,
Yeah, generally not speaking at 3 PM.
Well, you need to tough it out there, old man. You young kids with your hula hoops and Dan Fogelberg and Zima and Pac-Man video games and air conditioning.
I
get an attention span that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
Here's how this works. Here's what we do. Before we go to bed, I turn the air conditioner to 65. My wife leaves right about the time I'm getting up. As soon as I get up, I turn it off. And I don't turn it on again until about 7 or 8 o'clock at night when the sun finally gets over in the west and it gives us a little heat. I won't flip the air conditioner back on. It stays cool all day. What's the key? Not open your fucking windows. That's the key. You keep everything inside. It's like your refrigerator. When the power goes out, you don't open up the refrigerator and go, oh, I wonder what's going to go bad. No, you keep the fucking door closed because
sometimes with our refrigerator, it's weird because it'll still freeze stuff.
Well, you've got it turned up. You've got the fucking.
Yeah, I have it turned down and it still freezes stuff. It's like one of those, time or reality changing perceptions of things.
Oh, there's another name for that. I think it's called shitty refrigerator. So,
could be.
And I know you got to get a new air conditioner, so you're probably not getting a new fridge anytime soon.
No, I mean, it's not high on the list after getting the Jeep last month,
Show me some two-teamers, man. Come on.
James said that you forgot to leave out your stripping career.
The closest I've ever come to stripping is I did a chair one time and got the varnish off of it. No.
Good thing you clarified, because otherwise people were wondering how you tried to do a chair.
Good times. I have a friend of mine used to do a bit about, I can't even remember what the bit was. It was something about rodeo, and the whole crux of it was he would flip the stool over and fucking tie the 4 legs with the mic cord and then go time. I don't remember what the setup was, but that was the physical part of the payoff.
And Bronco said you opened for the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
She's funny. I like that show. That's an entertaining show. As a comic, it's not bad. A lot of times they do shows about comics and they're very unrealistic and terrible, but I like Mrs. Maisel. I've watched all the episodes. You watch it? You a fan?
No.
Really?
No, my wife has watched it. No, if I watch stuff on him, I like to watch, I watch Bosch and stuff like that.
That's one it looks really good. Did you watch the thing with Billy Bob Thornton on Amazon? Wasn't Titan or was a name like that, but.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, I saw that.
I watched the first couple. I haven't seen the last season. I haven't seen that, so I'm watching the Lakers thing now. I finally got around to watching that on HBO.
Oh, the winning time thing.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I doubt a lot of the accuracy in what I'm seeing, but it's an entertaining show.
Yeah, I know that Jerry West was bent out of shape about it.
Well,
they portrayed him as a belligerent drunk and what have you.
Yeah. He says, "I don't drink that much."
Like the saying goes, "I'm not drinking anymore." Yeah, but you're not drinking any less either. So
you got the Mariners. We talked about that. We got the Yankees. We talk about that every day, and you should take them because they're good. They fucking win almost every baseball game. You got an interesting matchup tonight, Chris. You want to talk about that a little bit with that Yankees game?
Yeah, it's Tyone and Framber Valdez, and both guys are pitching pretty well. But like you said earlier, it's tough to keep the Yankees lineup in check for an extended period, and Houston's bullpen hasn't been necessarily lights out by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they've been a little disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think playing at home is going to work in favor of New York here. Especially, Houston won't be able to steal any signs by banging on trash cans or anything. So
very good.
There's that too.
Okay.
But I just think that, the Yankees lineup has been a little bit better than Houston's. I mean, Houston's gotten by because they're playing in a horrible division.
You put much stock in quality starts? You care?
I mean, I think it's good.
Shows consistency. Because Valdez has made a ton of quality starts. He's made 10 quality starts in a row after struggling a little bit there to get the season started. He's been pretty good since really the end of April there, April 25th. But Tyone looked really good last time out against Toronto. That was that game against Manoah where the Blue Jays just did nothing against Tyone.
Yeah.
He went 5 2/3, gave up just 4 hits, 2 walks, no runs. 8 Ks, buddy. 8 Ks. That was his high water mark of the season.
And can you really have a ton of faith in Houston's lineup considering how inconsistent it's been?
Yeah, I know. This is I don't know that and the sad part is they're probably are they the second best team in the American League? Are they better? Are they better than Toronto/Tampa Bay? Because I'm assuming you're not taking anybody out of the Central.
Yeah, I mean they might be, but
okay,
it's tough to say with the inconsistency. And I mean Toronto has the same problem,
Yeah,
where they'll play well for a stretch and then they'll play like hammered dog shit, and then they'll put on another run and then they'll go back in the tank.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is another team you just can't figure out because they can't figure out what the hell they want to do from day to day.
I'll tell you what they don't do is they don't fucking score, buddy.
That's true.
Tampa Bay can't score. I will say this is a Houston team that's won 6 of their last 7. The game they lost, Chris, you know who started it?
Yeah, Verlander.
Yeah, the JV squad. The JV squad started that when he gave up. I think they lost at 7.
He got smacked around.
They lost at 7-0. I think he gave up 6 of those. He gave up a shit ton of those runs.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yep. So this is you're getting a good price on the Yankees. I understand the temptation, and I just at the end of the day, though, I think this is going to be a lot like the Toronto series was, where you say, well, here's a team that's just about as good as the Yankees. They should give them a tough time, and then they did not. They did eke out a win there in the last game, but the Yankees pretty much told them who their daddy was the first fucking 2 days. And it took if I recall right, it took a hell of a comeback by Toronto to win that last game, right?
Yeah,
that was the 11-10 game or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
So, I get it. You want to back the Yankees here?
But this also goes back to the fact that we had 4 games to choose from. So.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what else I don't hate here, and we may see it on Shot in the Dark. I don't hate the under.
Yeah.
I don't hate the under in this game at all. Okay, so moving on. You got the Padres. We talked about the Padres already over the Phillies. Frankie Montas over 6.5 strikeouts.
Made 3 starts against Seattle last year. Struck out 11, 10, and 8.
Okay, that's solid.
The aforementioned Eugenio Suarez, who is not Ranger Suarez, leads the major leagues in strikeouts.
Wow, that would not have. I would not have guessed that. See, that's the thing, and we got the guy that changed his name on our team. Same guy changed his first name, so that's why I was thinking the Suarez thing, because you had Raul Mondesi Jr.
Right,
who's now Alberto Mondesi.
He should have just changed his first name to IL.
A little disappointing, man. It's he's had some bad luck and hasn't hit well. Really, he just hasn't had much of a stretch to play a whole season. I don't know what the longest stretch he's played has been. Maybe 50 games, something like that. Where he's played most of them, been in the regular lineup. He just hasn't had an opportunity. I think at the end of the day, he's a disappointment. And I don't know if it was brought on by all the injuries or if he was just going to be a disappointment either way. All right, so there you go. Yeah,
Eugenio Suarez, just to close that out, 94 whiffs and 255 official plate appearances this season. So you're looking at almost a 40% clip for him alone.
Remember that used to matter? Remember when guys cared about that? Good times.
Yeah, I remember when everybody got amped up when guys like Rob Deere would strike out 175 times or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. So
Chris, just looking at the Mariners lineup real quick, out of their starting 9 guys that have played the most games, 6 of them have struck out at least 42 times. Julio Rodriguez has fanned 83 times and 261 at bats. And the Mariners, they're just whiff happy. So I have to think that, Montas can get over that number.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Hey, if you want to play those parlays, you want to play the first one there with the Mariners and the Yankees, getting a pretty nice payoff, Chris. We're not used to seeing 2 1/4 on $100 with money line payoffs. And as you might suspect, the run line payoffs going to be substantial because the Yankees, I believe, are at home for this one, right?
Yes, they are.
So you're catching 80 cents of value there. You're catching 70 cents on the road with the Mariners over the A's. And if you put those two together, that's $524 on $100. On your Padres Montas payoff, $258.33 on $100. And if you wanted to play the run line on the San Diego game, that'll take you from 50 to 95. You turn that frown upside down. The Padres at home don't score a ton of runs, so that's why you're getting 95 cents worth of value. But if you include that, $426.75 on $100. Very good.
And Lex, you're a little behind because you're talking about how Robbie Ray gave up a bunch of runs against Houston and Baltimore, but his last 2 starts came against Boston and the Angels when he gave up
0.
A total of 1 run in 14 innings.
Nothing earned and no earned.
Right.
I'm back on the Robbie Ray train. Woo woo, Robbie Ray.
And even if Montas gives up a few runs, you're also looking at the fact that the A's don't score. Like we said, they scored 2 runs in the first 2 games of this series. They're dead last in the majors when it comes to scoring on the road.
Yep.
Or at home, I should say, at the Oco Coliseum.
Yep, absolutely dreadful. And they are a team that would appear to be not tailored at all to their ballpark. So
they're not tailored to be a major league team.
We have a bunch of power hitters that hit a lot of foul balls. How's that going to play? Oh, it'll be great. Yeah, it's going to be just an ideal fit for our stadium. Show me a 4-teamer, buddy.
All right, we will talk about the White Sox and the Orioles. I'm going to take the White Sox here. Johnny Cueto going against Dean Kramer, not Cosmo Kramer. But the Orioles, I've been impressed. They're better than what anybody would have expected. I mean, they've won more than 30 games already. Yeah. I didn't think they'd win 30 games all year.
No, they've been pretty darn good, buddy. No question about it. It's everything's relative with Baltimore.
True.
but they haven't embarrassed themselves. How about that?
That'll work. But, Cueto, I think, is a better pitcher than Kramer. And, we just watched the White Sox score a bunch of runs in that series with the Blue Jays. I mean, they took 2 of 3. They lost yesterday. But you look in those 3 games, they hung up 20 runs. They've won 3 of their last 5. They've scored 30 runs in that 5-game stretch. And they've actually won 6 out of their last 9 going into tonight, which for the White Sox, hey, that's a streak.
Yeah, that's a massive winning streak right there.
And sadly, they're still right in the middle of the AL Central race because nobody wants to run away with that division.
Nope. Okay. Mariners A's under 7. I cannot get involved with any sort of an over with Oakland. I know this bit me last night when the Mariners put up 103, but if you're going to ask me to play one of these games that is an under, and one of the teams is unlikely to score more than 2 runs, you got to fucking play the under every time and take your chances. So I'm fine with that.
And like I said, Montas pitches fairly well.
Musgrove over 6.5 strikeouts, very good. I don't.
Yeah, because like we were talking about, Schwarber's fanned 8 times in 13 at bats. Kesselos is fanned 7 times in 15 at bats against him, and the Phillies, they're free swingers.
Yep, they absolutely are. And the Orioles, White Sox, over 9. So,
like I said, you're looking at the White Sox. They scored 30 runs in the last 5 games. Baltimore, you look in their recent games. They hit double digits twice in the last 10. They've scored at least 6 runs on 4 other occasions. All of a sudden, the Orioles have bats.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't really put a ton of faith in the pitching on either side, because the bullpen for the White Sox has been terrible. And Baltimore starters are terrible. I mean, their relief corps has an ERA almost 2 runs lower than the starting staff.
I wanted to see what the weather was there in Chicago. We're used to checking Wrigley Field, and rightly so, because it sits a lot closer to the lake than whatever what was it, Qualcomm?
Guaranteed rate field.
Guaranteed. Isn't that Houston? I thought Cleveland?
No, that's Progressive Field.
Progressive. Oh, fuck. But it just fucking put a bullet in my head. So the wind shouldn't be much of a factor blowing out of the east.
Like 5 miles an hour.
8 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour. Yeah, so no big deal there. So Chris, if you want to put those 4 plays together, almost 13-1 on your money. That's a little better payoff if you take the run line, and of course you've only got one run line there to worry about, and that is the White Sox over the Orioles. Not a ton of value there with the home team, just 75 cents, but you are getting 17.88 on 100. Personally, I don't think I'd fuck with the run line there for a small increase in value on the parlay. I mean, it is. I get it. It's 40% or so, but White Sox at home against Baltimore, that's can put up some runs. That has ninth inning ass fucking written all over it. So, all right,
eloquent description of what that could be.
Thank you, buddy. I always say the people that have a weak vocabulary curse a lot. I tend to have both. So I mean, I think I have a pretty good vocabulary, but I also tend to curse a lot. So fuck it. What are you gonna do? Sometimes that's what fits.
It worked for George Carlin. I
mean, it doesn't. To convey the seriousness of that situation, I could say that has a bad break for me in the 9th inning written all over it. But I don't think that conveys the angst and the horrible feeling that goes along with having that team score 1 run for no apparent reason in the top of the 9th.
That would be a non-fortuitous event.
Yes, a non-fortuitous event in the 9th inning has occurred. Boy. All right. Give me a shot in the dark.
Yeah, and I take note that the numbers are the same at the bottom because guess what? There's no run lines put into this because they're all props. Prop.
This
is what happens when you have 4 games.
Yep, this is it. All right, Tyone over 4.5 strikeouts, and
seems like a low number, doesn't it?
Is Baseball Reference working for you right now?
It was a minute ago.
Yeah, it was a minute ago, but it is completely okay. I was trying to look at somebody's numbers a second ago, and it just I got into infinite spin, so it looks like
Mine just it came up fine.
Okay.
Just now.
All right. Well, it loaded up well, so I have confidence here.
Yeah, Tyone has struck out at least 5 in 5 of his last 6 starts.
Okay.
And then the one game he didn't, he only went 4 innings against the Twins. Still struck out 3. The Astros, we've talked about how they've been a disappointment with guys like Kyle Tucker in the middle of the lineup chasing pitches like they're going out of style. I think Tyone should get to this number. I mean, it's not that high. I mean, we've seen a lot of inflated numbers of late.
Okay.
And we're going to go back on the Judge train there because.
By the way, his strikeouts are a little down this year.
They're down slightly.
60 strikeouts in 73 innings after having a little better season last year, 140 and 144 and 30 and 37 the year before that. So keep an eye on that, but he definitely has the potential to go over 4.5 there. I mean, this relatively low number is reflective of the fact that he hasn't been fantastic at strikeouts, or at least as good as he has been in the past. But I think 5 is a very attainable number.
Right, and then I'm gonna stick with Judge to go
over.
Ooh,
everybody's favorite 9th inning pinch hitter. It's Aaron Judge. Everybody.
Yeah, I still don't understand that mentality. Yeah, let's not play it, but then we'll bring him in and pinch hit in the 9th because it was a 1-run game.
Yeah, well, you got to give him these day off every once in a while.
Yeah, well, don't give him a day off on a day when I pick him. Give him a day off on some other game.
Positive money on over 1.5. Sure, why not? Cronenworth, you got some stats on him?
Yeah, if you look in his last, 10 games, he has gone 17 of 41.
Okay.
So he's hitting .415 with a homer, 6 doubles, 5 RBIs. Sadly, he's walked more times than he struck out. 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's been plunked 3 times.
So I just kind of looked up as we're meandering around here. We got to go. So it's Cronenworth over 1.5 total bases. Robbie Ray, 6.5 strikeouts. Very good.
I look for the Phillies and Pods to go over the number. I just think that,
okay,
they'll get to 8.
All right. Luis Robert, he's been a little hot lately, huh, Chris?
Yeah, he's been drove in 12 runs last week. Sadly, he only had 24 going into last week, so he drove in a third of his runs.
Nice. Austin Hayes with the Orioles over 1.5 bases. Very good. The under on the Astros and Yankees. Valdez over in strikeouts, and Rangers Suarez over in strikeouts as well. As Chris mentioned,
all low numbers. So
as Chris mentioned, there's no run lines available on all those. So what you see is what you get. It's a nice, easy day for the 10-teamer. You don't even have to think about it. As you just put your $10 on there to win $12,000. However, if you were to put $100 on it, that would pay you $129,000, $436. Couple of fill-ups with gas.
Pizza money.
So there you go. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the show. We appreciate you stopping by. As always, don't forget to stay tuned if you have the ability. If the boss is out of the office, maybe you're at home playing hooky, whatever it is, stay tuned. Scott and I will be doing our thing here in just a few minutes. But if you can't make that, I get it. Chris and I, we do our thing. We're here every single day, 2 p.m. Eastern at 1 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, talking about a little bit of everything. But, of course, we finish it up strong as we concentrate on...
Just parlays.
Just parlays. You guys take care. We'll see you tomorrow.